what do you guys want to touch on? Star Wars or Harry Potter?
Star Wars, my favorite Harry Potter.
You like Harry Potter? You like Harry Potter?
Bro, I watched the first movie, yeah. I watched the
Which one?
Shut up.
And the Philosopher's
He's
Stone.
a Philosopher's Stone, and he said, "Oh, I don't like it."
No, I never said I don't like it. I'm saying I go to a party, yeah, I think it was second or third, where the brother's like, "Oh, we are in trouble," and I was just like, "Fuck off." Fuck off.
No, you're bugging. But you like Star Wars?
I don't like Star Wars.
Star Wars or Harry Potter?
They're literally like the
Harry
same
Potter
plot
all
line.
day.
Good versus evil, yin and yang. It is literally the same plot
Harry
line.
Potter
Star Wars is
all
a
day.
shit. No, Harry Potter is a shit Star Wars.
Huh?
Harry Potter is a shit
Harry
Star Wars.
Potter's better than Star Wars.
Huh?
Harry Potter's way better than Star Wars. Star Wars is shit.
People are dying like there's less like
Star Wars is shit.
there's oh my god, you know what?
dying, no excited.
I saw this on TikTok the other day and
Phantom
it
Menace
was
is better than
jokes.
Philosopher's Stone.
And it was Goblet of Fire, you know, after Cedric dies.
Yeah.
And he says
Spoilers.
this is one of the maddest. It's not a spoiler anymore. Everyone's seen it every Christmas. You know what I mean?
I'm celebrating Christmas. Be inclusive.
The Harry Potter's Christmas thing still.
It's a
I know,
Christmas
I know,
film,
it's,
man.
not
You
for
just
me, though.
binge watch Harry Potter, or if you're on the plane, you just watch Harry Potter,
Yeah,
innit?
yeah.
So
That's the same. You know what movie Star Wars have? Unraveled. It's not unbelievable.
so
Go on, sorry.
it gets to a point where Cedric is dead, and Harry comes back after getting the Goblet of Fire,
Yeah.
and his dad is like going in, and it's like the most hardest like
Yeah.
acting skills. My beautiful boy, what happened to him?
Yeah.
And then it goes to Daniel Radcliffe, and he's like, he's back. Voldemort's back. And then I was like, you know what, that's actually so true. And that made me question whether I would want Daniel Radcliffe to be in this remake. I mean, obviously he's not going to be Harry again,
Yeah.
but I don't think I would want him to be in it.
You think he's just too old now, or is just you think
Just
acting
like-
skill's not there for it?
I think he'd be living in his own shadow if he was.
He would never want to touch that again. Like actors that are part of these type of franchises will never want to continue to go back,
Yeah,
unless they're
Black Widow
unless
is
they're
like-
dying with money,
Scarlet's like,
unless they
yeah,
don't have the money for it. I think Daniel Radcliffe, he has other roles.
No,
he gets other
he
jobs.
said he'd be
He's doing
willing to
bits.
do. He would be willing to do like the Cursed Child and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, the
but-
story where it continues
Yeah.
after. Yeah,
He'd
of
be
course.
willing to
I'll
do
say
that, but I just don't think that for the reboot it'd be worth it. He could play Harry's dad.
Wait, so
Yeah.
is it
That's the
reboot
thing,
as in
he-
it's starting from
he could
scratch?
play
So
James.
what they're doing is they're rebooting the whole movie series. They're making the movie series into TV
And
series.
do you know why they
So
do
each
this?
season will be based on a book.
It's to make sure, not only just for money, but it's to ensure that they continue the copyright, because it gets to
Oh,
a
that's
certain
shit.
film.
Oh, it
where-
loses it, and it
yeah,
gets.
and
it
then
gets,
so then
oh,
any
yeah,
other
yeah.
production
So you can
studio
take it.
can, yeah.
Oh yeah, I forgot
Some
about
people
that.
can you contract
Cause you know
them?
what? Because they haven't done anything. I think, like I mentioned, we did a podcast where we talked about franchises that doesn't really get like TV shows or expand. And Harry Potter was one of them that. Obviously now they announced this, but before that
Didn't
they
have
had
the
nothing. They had
Dumbledore stuff.
And
they
I
had
think-
Fantastic Beasts,
Yeah.
but that for obvious reason
It'd
flopped
be
because
interesting.
those two actors going through a madness.
Who's that one?
Johnny Depp and Idris
Oh, yeah.
Miller.
Nice.
Yeah, they were going through some stuff at the time.
Hey, I was just
So
thinking.
the film got cancelled. Not cancelled, but it got
Well,
just
the
dashed.
Dumbledore's one.
Yeah, the Fantastic Beasts.
That was because it was meant. Was he meant to be in Dumbledore's Secret?
Yeah, I
'Cause
think
that was
I
the
think
one that was-
Johnny Depp's character was meant to be the main villain, something like that.
Yeah, because
And Idris Miller was like a
changed
villain as
because
well.
it was like Grindwell,
Yeah,
which was Dumbledore's brother.
yeah.
Well, okay, I have a question. So I know for a fact that the Fantastic Beasts movies are generally known as terrible movies.
They're
I won't
not
say they're bad. They're not bad. Not
They're not
bad. The
terrible.
ones I've seen, I've
They're
actually
not-
only seen
no,
one and
I've
two.
seen. I've seen
one and two?
I've seen two.
I've seen one of them. I wasn't paying attention.
Yeah,
I've seen 1 and 3. I saw 3
They're
recently on the
good.
plane.
They're good watches.
They're
Though.
actually alright.
Uh,
I think it's sometimes helpful if you watch the last Harry Potter film
Yeah, then carry on
and
from
then
there.
watch those
No,
because
yeah.
it explains a bit more.
I'm trying to think.
Yeah.
Am I willing to make the commitment to watch all those movies? I watched.
Just watch the TV show, innit?
Huh?
What's the TV show?
No, but I have to. Like, if I'm gonna watch TV, I have to watch it. That's why I'm like, if I'm gonna watch the new stuff, I have to watch the old stuff. Like when I watched Mission Impossible,
Mm.
I start from number 1.
Yeah.
I'm saying like I want to.
That's commitment there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
or
yeah,
even
sure.
like the 007. I'm not gonna start from the David Craig. I'm gonna start from Doctor No.
Yeah.
Doctor No.
Shit.
Oh wait,
1940
Doctor No,
crazy.
is
Dr.
that
No,
is
that's
that the one
first
with?
The first 007.
Do you know who's my favorite? Sean Connery. That's my favorite James Bond.
Sorry. I don't know any other but
I don't know.
Daniel.
Sir
Daniel
Roger
Craig.
Moore.
Val Kilmer?
I don't know any of those people.
I
No?
literally
Oh,
grew
that's
up
what it
on James Bond. I like
Serious?
espionage films. That's
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Super
You
into
should
that.
watch Falcon and the Soldier. Anyway, speaking of Star Wars,
No,
That's
wait,
not-
no, wait.
That's
First is
not.
Harry Potter.
That is
No,
not espionage films. Please do not disrespect me like
no,
that.
but what with Harry Potter?
Tinker Tailor Soldier. That's an espionage
Tinker
film.
Tailor.
There we go.
Well, who do you guys think will they cast for the new Harry Potter TV
I
show.
think Emma.
There ain't no- Aye, first of all,
He's Voldemort.
there's no black people in Harry Potter.
Actually, no, that's actually a lie.
They made her. Well, the trans-
Hermione was actually
flipped her.
black.
in the thing.
No, and then like they
Wait, was she
flipped
meant
it,
to
and
be
then
black,
also
or they flipped her from being white to
lavender.
black?
You know the airhead.
She was lavender.
Lavender. No,
I'm saying incest. Land fam.
no, lavender. You know the like the airheaded girl who was like, oh my god. Wow.
Oh yeah, yeah.
She
yeah,
was
yeah.
originally
black?
played by a black girl. No. In the films, she was originally played by a black film. But once she became a love interest, no, the one that Ron was dating, who died. I can't remember her, but she fancied him bare. Do you remember when there was potions, and then she gave Ron the love potion, and he was in
Something
into
like
it.
that.
So she was originally played by a young black girl.
Yeah.
But once she became Ron's love interest, who is technically one of the main characters,
Yeah.
they switched her to a white girl.
Oh.
I'm hearing J.K. Rowling's idea in the dumbness, you know. Like you'll say, oh,
She
like,
has-
this
she-
is always my idea to do this. It's always been my
Yeah,
idea.
she's changing a lot of characters.
she's doing great.
Yeah,
But she can
background
never
and
be Kevin
everything.
Feige, man. She can never be George Lucas. Speaking of Star Wars.
This guy does about Star Wars.
No,
Guy, Star Wars has announced a bag of new films, a bag of new TV
I'm
shows,
so excited, man.
and you're actually excited for it because I think I'm starting to think it's too much.
I think
it, you know, like I remember talking to people like about Star Wars, and I have watched a few. Like I've watched the main one.
you watch more Star Wars than I've seen Harry Potter, so that's you're really qualified for this conversation. Go on. You're overqualified compared to me for
But like
Harry Potter.
I've hit, it gets to a point where it's just a bit overwhelming.
It is still because what they're doing, they're gonna do another trilogy film.
Two trilogies.
Yeah, two
One-
trilogies.
one-
One
one
on
sets-
on Raya.
Right, Ray.
Ray.
Raya.
Raya.
so
She's a
it's-
dead bro. Is she a good? She's a dead character.
Ray. No, she could be fixed.
She can be
She
fixed.
could be fixed.
So
No,
she's
but
broken.
it's now you're saying
Now
you've
we'll
got
go,
to
fuck
this
off.
point. We've had this introduction of her. We were thinking that John Boyega was going to be the main character, but it turned out to be her the whole time. And you're now getting to this point, and you're saying she can be fixed.
Yeah.
It takes place 30 years after Rise of Skywalker.
30 years after. Star Wars is bugged out, bro. Are you serious? 30 years after. And you know, like you said, there's two, you know? There's two trilogies coming.
No, so the other one is one I'm really excited about. Do you know about the other one?
Is it,
This takes place 15,000 years before The Phantom Menace. And it's about the origins of the first Jedis. And it's directed, 3 movies directed by James Mangold. I'm excited for that shit, bro.
what's James Mangold done in the
Logan.
past? Oh, Logan. Okay.
That guy. He's an origin story for the Jedi, like the Force and the origins of all that stuff. Directed by
How is
all
this
3
working?
movies by
Because
one guy.
they're not saying two trilogies. Are these coming back to
and then
back?
two different timelines.
Yeah.
Oh my.
Are they going to do
head.
3 chill, then do
I
the
don't
other
fucking know
3?
what they're gonna do it. But what I'm saying is the sequel one, the one of Daisy Ridley.
That is going to be trash.
No,
You hear it first. Junior has spoken. It's going to be trash. She's a trash character.
No, I'm
She's
a bit
trash.
confused.
Let's be
Why
honest,
are
she's
you
trash.
giving out films with 2 different timelines around the same time?
No,
Makes no sense.
They announced
This is
it.
too
No, they might
much.
release it like differently.
Yeah, but like they've already announced. Nah, man.
I feel
I'm
like Star
out.
Wars makes a lot of money each year, and they're like, yo, let's keep on doing films.
yeah, but
Must
they
make
understand that
multi-billion
this
dollars
formula
from
can only
this.
work for so long, innit? Like the whole just pumping shit out.
But they're pumping a lot. It's not these,
It's oversaturated.
and they still got more TV shows coming. They got more TV shows coming
Mando.
as well.
I mean, Mando pops. Yeah, love Mando.
Popped.
Yeah, this season's been kind of questionable. It's got questionable
Fair
episodes.
Season
This season,
3. Season 3. I haven't seen season 3. I'm sorry.
kind of questionable still.
But you know,
And they got a
It's
spin-off. They got a
cute.
spin-off show from that as well coming out.
With Bo-Katan or who?
What's that girl? Can't remember.
Ahsoka.
Yeah, that's coming out.
That's gonna be.
Then they got Star Wars Visions coming.
Vision for that. That's anime. I'm not in it.
Then there's a few more. I think Batch.
Bad
Bad
Batch.
Batch
Bad
is coming
Batch
with
is
its final season. There's a lot of shows.
Man,
And the thing is,
Mando's not gonna finish after 4.
like Maz was saying, they're all different timelines.
and
That's
it's
the thing that bubble
it's
up.
getting
Yeah,
like.
yeah, that's when that
To
bothers me.
keep up as well, like already, like I struggle to keep up with a lot of films and stuff. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah.
We're living in the golden age of TV and film.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
because
So.
it's just so many saturation, but they know how to target their audience. But now it's getting overwhelming because I have so many things to watch at one time, and then when it's one franchise oversaturating it, it's almost going to get confusing for its own fan base.
100%.
I don't think it will be. It won't be confusing for its own fan base. It'll be confusing for those who are starting now to get into it. Understand? Those are like
Yeah.
haven't seen nothing and wanting it. So I've been doing the whole franchise chronologically. So not in release order, but like in wherever.
Mm.
So I'm watching the Phantom Menace and the prequels, and then I'm watching I'm watching like stuff that came out like last year. Then I'm watching stuff that came out 10 years ago. And so it's weird, but they are. But what they've done, that's been happening. That's what George Lucas has done. George Lucas has made a trilogy that takes place here. Then he made a trilogy that takes place here. I said, you lot fill in the gaps. 20 years happens between episode 3 and episode 4.
Look, I'll be
About 30 years
45
after
and
that-
they'll still be releasing out
100%.
Star Wars.
How long do we have this? This war's been going on for ages.
It's not one war, bro. What's wrong with you?
There's more, fam. It's the Empire.
It's called Star Wars.
Yeah, wars,
Emphasis
plural.
is on the S.
Plural.
The Empire changes every 5 years, bro.
No.
The
If you-
Empire
when
changes
you watch Andor,
every
You
time.
understand this thing. No, when you watch Andor, and when
The
you watch,
Empire collapse. The Empire strikes back.
Shut up. Retract your attitude. When you watch Andor and when you watch what's the one that was? I think it was. Might have been the Obi-Wan. No, not Obi-Wan. One of the show, I think it was Mandalorian. Sorry. So when you watch Andor, kind of showcases the politics.
That's why I liked Andor. I enjoyed Andor because it showed the inner
politics
workings
behind-
of the working class
The whole
people.
thing of like they would never expect me to walk into their house, take their stuff, spit in their food, and walk out because they're so like high up in their shit. And then like they also kind of do social commentary on the Republic, the good guys allegedly, and how they're basically shit out that they do as well.
Yeah.
So like it's like this constant change of power over the galaxy, and everyone that does it is just terrible. Right? The Jedi Council was shit. They didn't know the Sith even existed or came back until they were like until it was too late. So it's everyone that ever takes over the galaxy, they're just terrible leaders. That's why they're constantly showing these kind of stories to probably emphasize.
I don't know who controls the galaxy right now.
Right now, I mean, there is no such thing as right now. It's Skywalker's.
Yeah, exactly. It's just an endless fucking
Yeah, but
timeline.
but I do like that though. I like it. It's like a puzzle, isn't it? It's like a big puzzle where it's like you don't finish the puzzle, like you don't. Just
But
do
you can
like
see
that.
how it could be
You do
confusing
different
with
parts of it.
someone that.
Someone that's brand new, yeah.
Yeah, like
but that's what they're good
for
at.
the thing is, like the whole point is like, especially when most production places release all these new like trilogies and new shows and spin-offs, is so the younger audience can then engage and then grow up to love it, and then they
Yeah.
can continue to create it. But it's getting to a point where it's difficult to just start.
I don't think it's difficult to start. It's just long to
Because
complete.
no, but there's so many prequels, there's so many
Yeah, there's a
like
lot.
It's difficult to
it's
complete,
just-
not to start. Like you can go on Google right now and find like a list of what to watch.
Bro, I just said we're living in a golden age of film and TV. Do you think I'm gonna sit there and just go wham for all of them?
I did.
Yeah, because you know you already like it. You grew
I
up.
don't like
knowing.
it. I hate it. I didn't grow up on it. I started watching Star Wars about 5 years ago.
Yeah. You say you don't like it, you hate it.
Then why are you
Absolutely.
wasting your time?
Waste
Yeah.
its potential, but some of the stuff is good. That's why I don't like myself.
See, you're gambling.
Basically, yeah. My time.
There's hopefully this will be good.
No,
Hopefully
It's
this is
gonna
worth
come
my
back
time.
and be like, guys, I hate this.
Yeah.
No, I think Star Wars is a waste of potential on it. I think it's a stinker. Like, most of the stuff I've seen, I struggle to watch. I'm watching. I'm like, you could have done this. Like, if they rebooted Star Wars, I'll be the happiest man in the world. Because Star Wars have great characters, have great ideas, but have terrible execution, and that's what really bothers me. You know. So